Indictment number 3, we'll talk about it.
The Dan York State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Yeah, so Donald Trump said today, as I tape this on Thursday, as you watch it on Friday on Fox and Sunday on Channel 12 or what's the name of the channel? The CW channel. Sorry. Yeah, I need a 4th indictment to secure this election. So clearly he's not very serious about what's going on here, although that's the veneer, right? Inside, I mean, his gut's got to be churning. I have no idea how this whole thing is going to pan out, but I have a funny feeling that with this particular indictment is going to end up with a trial more speedy than the others. In fact, if you've been paying any attention to this whole situation, the Mar-a-Lago case will probably take a back seat. In the New York case, the prosecutor's already saying, hey, listen, if you want to go in front of me, that's fine, because this whole idea of, you know, the Constitution and that kind of stuff might take precedence over what he did to pay off a former affair and porn star, right? It's great to have you in. Thanks very much for tuning in. Do you ever, before I introduce my guest, who's phenomenal and haven't seen him in a while, and I can't wait to tell you about him, I can't wait to hear what he thinks about all this. I was watching TV last night, it'd be Wednesday night, kind of catching up on some of these things. And my 28-year-old daughter is next to me on the other couch. And she's on her phone, she's doing a couple things, getting back to some of her friends and whatever she's doing and blah, blah, blah. She's kind of off for the summer, so she's having a good time. And all this indictment and constitutional challenge and seriousness of the democracy and the country may fall and fail and all that kind of stuff, you know, is beaming through the television. And I'm looking at her like this. And I turned to my wife. Actually, my daughter left, and I turned to my wife and I said, do you get the surrealness of this? I mean, I remember when Richard Nixon got jammed up for Watergate and sitting in front. Now, look, the whole world was different back then. 3 networks, 3 local channels, blah, 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 the whole thing. But I remember sitting in the living room with my father and mother watching the network news of Richard Nixon's resignation, all the tumult that happened before it. We were all glued to it. I remember my parents, who were not very political. I mean, they weren't political. They were working for a living. But they were, this is historic. I remember taking my cassette recorder, you know, well, this is a different machine, right? I remember taking my cassette recorder and pushing record and taking the little microphone, remember little microphones, and putting it up against the television, recording this incredible event of Richard Nixon's resignation. My kid, who's an adult now, is sitting on the couch completely nonplussed about this whole situation beaming off the television. And I just think it's, at some point, we all have to recognize it's been brought to I guess as a coping mechanism, complacent with all of this. Does it make any sense to you? Anyway, I'm sure Richard Arenberg has a thought on that. You'll be introduced to him in a second. He is a professor of political science, or the practice of political science. He's also an author, and he's a friend of the show. Let's just run the latest. Now again, you're seeing this on Friday and Sunday. The arraignment is 3 hours from now. I'm recording this at 1 o'clock on Thursday. The arraignment's, you know, procedural. But here's what we had, just in case you were on vacation or something.
Metal gates were set up outside the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C., where former President Trump will make his first court appearance in a second federal case brought by special counsel Jack Smith. He's expected to enter a not guilty plea to 4 felony counts related to his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results.
What the president wants to do is absolutely defend himself on these baseless charges.
Yesterday, the 2024 GOP presidential candidate was spotted on the golf course at his New Jersey club. Trump has repeatedly slammed the indictment as election interference, and last night he suggested on social media the trial should be moved from here in Washington to the state of West Virginia. Sources say Trump's legal team is preparing to argue that the former president's false claims about the 2020 election were not criminal, and that he was following the advice of outside attorneys at the time, some of whom are believed to be among the 6 unnamed co-conspirators mentioned in the 45-page indictment. Trump's former vice president and 2024 rival Mike Pence gave hours of testimony to the grand jury.
Sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
Meanwhile, security remains tight at the courthouse and nearby Capitol. Police say they are prepared for, quote, whatever might happen.
You know, that's only a minute and 20 package, and there's like 17 conversations that come out of it. Let's sig out to my guest, Richard Arenberg, who is long time no see. Great to have you.
Yes, great to see you.
Do you relate at all to my little riff there at the beginning of the show?
Yeah, no, I think you put your finger right on an important factor here. Something I've thought about a lot the last few days is how desensitized the American public is to this. It's kind of it's been months, you could even say years, and with this expectation, people, it's kind of intense focus on these coming indictments, and by the time they occur, it's for many people it's
anticlimactic, maybe.
Right,
in a way.
It doesn't have that impact, and I think one of the factors. I mean, you mentioned how much the world's changed since Watergate. I mean, one of the factors really is the 24/7 media, intense media coverage. But I think even more important is the highly polarized political environment that we now have in this country, and every event that comes along, people respond to it and fall on one side of the political divide or the other.
Well, you're not to digress from the story, but I always like to go in whatever direction our conversations take us. You're teaching this semester at Brown as part of the Taubman Institute's work there. You are teaching a class on the polarization of politics.
Right.
What are you teaching about it?
Well, we look closely at the roots and the impacts on what's going on in media, what's going on in campaign finance, what's going on in the Congress, with the presidency, with the Supreme Court, with the judiciary, and then more broadly on how this affects our whole political environment. And you know, the democracy, I think, in my view, democracy really requires 2 or more healthy parties willing to come to the table and negotiate. And this kind of intense polarization has gotten worse and worse year over year for, I think it goes back to Ronald Reagan, in my judgment, really is where the roots of it were back in 1980 or so. But it's gotten more and more
You think
intense.
Reagan was a cause of this?
Oh, I wouldn't say he was a cause.
I mean, the old adage, like the nostalgia thing that everybody talks about is that no matter that Reagan and Tip O'Neill disagreed on things, they could go out and share a dinner together and work those things out. He's actually the place that I think most reasonable Americans point to that you wish it were like that again.
Well, I think that's true. I mean, certainly the relationship that he had with Tip O'Neill reflects that, but it's really the point of departure when the so-called Reagan Revolution came in. That was the point at which the realigned parties and the parties, you know, the solid Democratic South was gone. The Democratic Party began to become more and more liberal year over year, and even more so on the other side of the fence, the Republican Party began to realign in a way that Republicans were more and more conservative.
Well, here's a thought I have for your class. You know, I talk about this all the time on the radio, more so than here, when I interact with people who come from a dead set prism place. Everything they see is through a prism, and they have to. Too many people just they see a current event, they see a current controversy, they see what's happening with Trump, they see what's happening, but add a dozen other matters out there, and it's like, who am I? What do I belong to? What do the people that I commiserate with politically think about this? Now I'll tell you what my position is, as opposed to a zero-based look at everything that drops in front of you. If people would take the top 10 things going on in the world, from climate change to what happened with the vaccine to the politics of Trump and the prosecution of Hunter Biden, and just look at the stories for their 0 to 60 net worth, look at the facts, and then later, if they want to keep a score on whether they have a trend of thinking, that's fine. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you, and but it's very hard to do in this environment, this point that we've gotten to now. Even if you look at the media, you know, I always say, you know, moderation, it takes hard work. You know, it's kind of easy to jump to the extreme on issues. You know, it's very emotional and so forth. But to take that kind of more moderate middle position where it's kind of on this hand, but on the other hand, and here are the facts and so forth, that takes a bit of work.
I'm sorry, you know, here's where I'm worried about, and we'll get back to the case itself in our next segment. But on the polarization thing, here's what I'm really worried about. I'm really worried about this idea. You know, Alan Dershowitz was talking on this Thursday that I'm taping, you know, about the banana republic nature of one administration or one political competitor using the government to charge his competitor. And you know, Alan's had some successes in his life, no doubt. I think he's more notorious than I think he's a good lawyer, to be honest with you. But that's ridiculous. The Justice Departments, by their very nature, are run as politically autonomously as structurally possible. Unless you want to rearrange the Constitution and what the Founding Fathers put together in terms of how this whole thing is set up, Donald Trump is the one who's threatening to use the Justice Department for revenge when he gets in.
Absolutely right.
Joe Biden took a bike ride today. He's kind of like, I don't want to hear it. Right. Oh, well, you know, behind the scenes, he's fixing Hunter Biden. Oh, come on.
Right.
Don't you think that polarization thought that the Justice Department now is a weapon is one of the more dangerous things that we're dealing with as we speak?
Yeah, I think that's very true. I think it's and there is a danger there. I mean, we see it on Capitol Hill with the impeachment talk. You know, if we begin to see...
the impeachment inquiry.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they don't have anything.
Yeah, well, right. But yeah, I mean, when you back it up to that point, you can say, well, whenever is there an administration in which you can't have that kind of forced impeachment inquiry? You know, go back in history. What administration would there ever have been?
There was always an itch to scratch in that direction.
There was, that's right.
All right, when we come back,
questions.
Yeah, no doubt. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the specificity of this week. Stay with us. It's all about that day, right? But interestingly, Prosecutor Jack Smith, who you see right there, isn't charging him for that day. He's charging him for all the things that led up to that day. And these conspiracy charges, we don't have to get into the specifics, well as defraud the United States. We could probably put that up. Eric, why don't you put that up, the graphic on the 4 charges. Thank you. Defraud the United States, obstruct an official proceeding, attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, conspiracy against rights. I think if you read between the lines, January 6th, the actual insurrection is all about. This is all about what led to the insurrection. But I think he's wise not to charge him with the orchestration of the actual attack, because that one would be hard to stick. What's your quick take on the 4 charges?
I think the indictment is incredibly.
What you have read, correct? You read it. I
read it, yes. Yeah. I think it's incredibly strong, detailed, very well written. It's very narrative in nature, and if you just read through it from front to end, and I recommend that people do that. I mean,
you're gonna make it mandatory for your students to read it?
I certainly will ask my students to read it. Yes.
Because I think people aren't going to read it.
Yeah, I mean, I think here we're, you know, I mean, this is a trial. You could make a very good argument that this is the most significant trial in American history. And you know, we said at the outset, we talked about how desensitized people are to the importance of this. But I think it's, you know, it's important to back up a little and take a look at here. I mean, here is a president of the United States, and we always say former president, but he's charged. These are actions that were taken by he was president at the time, and these are actions that the president of the United States took to undermine an election and the peaceful transfer of power in the country. You can't get more bedrock. You can't get more fundamental.
Sure. Innocent till proven guilty. We've got to keep reminding ourselves of that. But I mean, the narrative, I think, would change people's perspectives. And I don't know why people are afraid to read it. You shouldn't be afraid to read it. It is an easy read. I mean, it's one of the kind of read, you know, the old joke is like you can read it on the can. I mean, it really is that easy to read. It looks like, we'll know more in the next couple of weeks, that this trial could end up being first, and in the spring, and at the height of you know, primaries in certain states. And I mean, what 2024 is just going to be incredible. The one thing that I'm concerned about is this federal rule that I've always had mixed feelings about, the non-broadcast, non-television nature of federal courts. You're an institutional guy. You study the Senate. You're an expert on Senate. And by the way, you got to get Richard's book. I'll show it to you before we're done, on the filibuster, which we've had many shows here about, and it's fascinating. What does your citizen and instructive gut tell you about whether the Supreme Court ought to make some kind of variable decision as to whether Donald Trump's trial in the spring should be televised?
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be a very positive thing to have this televised. I've for a long time thought that the Supreme Court and the federal courts at least ought to have the option to. When it's in the public interest.
It's really tradition. There's nothing in the Constitution that says
that's right.
You can't broadcast the courts.
Right. That's right. And the Supreme Court now has, you know, they do broadcast the audio of their hearings in many cases, and of course we have state courts that are. better publicly televised. But I think in an instance like this, where I think it's pretty clearly in the national interest to allow the citizens of the country to watch this play out.
Okay, I got a question about the Senate when we come back. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Stay with
Sure.
us. By the way, this is the professor's book, Defending the Filibuster, and it just keeps coming back and back and back and back. It's a really good read. It's an important read because we need to know how the mechanics of government work. I don't have time for that today, but please pick up the book. Quick thinking. I mean, we're all getting a little older. We're not getting any younger. Do you have any
Right.
feeling, though, about senators who feel, I mean, McConnell seems like he's having some trouble. Feinstein is definitely ill.
Yes, right.
As somebody who loves the Senate and reveres the institution, do you have a thought on ageism or whether it really ought to be a situation where we cap it? I only have a minute.
Yeah, no, I recognize the problem, and I think it's unfortunate in instances where it's very extreme. I was in the Senate when Strom Thurmond was 100 years old, and you know, he would sometimes stand up on the Senate floor and start a speech when he wasn't called on, you know, and somebody had to come sit him down, you know. But I think it would be a mistake to put an age limit.
Because?
Well, because I think I think there's a real value to the experience that and the wisdom that older senators bring to the job. And I think, you know, we've had a lot of talk about the president's age, for example. I think we see, if you look at something like the Ukraine issue, here's an area where his experience, where his knowledge, where his relationships around the world have really made him very successful.
Right. We'll leave it there. Great to get your point of view. Great to see you. Again, pick up the book on the filibuster. It's important reading. Have a great rest of the summer. There'll be plenty of time for us to regroup on this one. There'll be plenty to chat about.
Let's do it.
Richard Arenberg from Brown. We'll be right back. Hey, I know you don't even read your mail, and I know we're all really busy, but I would suggest that you look right into your American heart and take an hour and read the indictment. Just read it.